Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Sunday Messages, the live show here for you. So this is actually a really light day. There's not very much going on in terms of questions and prayers. And so I am just going to do one prayer, and we are going to pull some tarot, and then if there's anything that you would like to add, you're more than welcome to drop it in the chat box. But let's go ahead and dive in. I hope everyone's having an amazing week. So this first prayer is for Joanna, and this is a prayer for overall abundance, love, joy, money, job, connection, fun, and wellness. Full agreement for you to own that as your natural state of being. I'm also in full agreement for you to feel the sensation of it already being done. So really keep in mind, as you're creating, the magic lives in tapping into the sensation proactively. So instead of dependency on conditions, you want to make sure that you're just feeling into, it's already done. I'm already there. My body is already there. My mind is already there. My energy, my frequency is already there. So I'm in full agreement for you to take yourself there first. And then the second piece is you're going to be traveling to the UK for a wedding. Full agreement for everything to go smoothly, for it to be better than anticipated, and for it to be full of pleasures. Full agreement. This trip to bring me and my partner even closer together with unforgettable memories and time to ourselves. And for newlyweds to have an absolutely magical day and honeymoon. Full agreement. Full agreement. That is easy, already done. Again, this is just one of those things where you can start preparing your energetic field for that experience. You can just start taking yourself there first, getting into the vibe, getting into the energy, however you do that. So one thing that I'll add, and for those of you listening, you'll find this really helpful if you're actively creating, is that how you access what I'm calling the vibe, the energy, the connection to the thing having already happened. Everyone has a different way that they access and achieve the vibe, the way that they achieve the energy. So for some people, it's words. For some people, it's imagination, it's visualization. For some people, it's more of a sensory thing. For some people, it's sitting in silence, just blissing out in meditation. It could be nature. So the point that I'm making here is that feel confident in abandoning rules and boxes around manifestation. Because the reality is, in my experience, is that it evolves over time, and what gets me into the vibe changes. So just to make sure that you're allowing yourself to do what feels good and what takes you there, and just whatever will put you in that energy, go there, do it, own it, enjoy it. So there's no wrong way. It's not that scripting is more powerful than visualization, but what I will say about visualization is there's a lot of people who can't conjure visual imagery every single day. So you just have to identify for yourself what takes me there. What's going to put me in that state? What's going to make me feel? Feeling is the best metric to use. How you get to the feeling state could be any number of ways. All right. What else do I want to update you on? Cosmic Council is open again. So I just opened the doors, and I'm still putting together the lineup, but we are going to be starting mid-September. Right now I'm looking at like the 19th of September to start, and I've made a lot of improvements to Cosmic Council this round. I haven't run it since 2020, and it's all about working with guides. So this class only runs live because it's very hands-on. It's very kinesthetic, if you will. Like if you're a practice person, this is very practice heavy. So the technical aspects are relatively minimal. We don't go over technicalities very much just because it's so easy and so simple. We go straight into working with guides. So every class, and there's 9 classes, we work with a different guide. I show you how to shop for guides, how I choose guides that I'm going to be working with. And it's going to be a whole mix of gods, goddesses, deities, historical figures, ascended masters. It's really eclectic every time I've put a lineup in my mind. And I make sure that there's a wide range of areas of life that you're tapping into. And I also am going to make sure that I have a good mix of time zones that I'm touching in on. So once people are in the container, I'll make sure that I have a good mix. Then I'll probably ask for input and have people make suggestions about the time zones that they would like to see me do a call at. So anyway, that's what's open right now. Again, late September, somewhere in there. We're going to be starting up. It's going to be a ton of fun. And I'm excited. It's very, very active, super deep in practice. So anyway, I'll be sharing more about that, but I'll include the link if you're like, ooh, guides, yes, I want to work with a guide on this and this and this and this. And it's a lot of fun and it's really simple. And it's just going to be building relationships with guides the entire time. Shopping, meditating, feeling it out, learning how to communicate with guides, weaving it into your own life. It's going to be good. I'm really, really excited. And Apex starts October 1st. That's the other thing that I want to remind you of. Go listen to the podcast episode I did about Apex back in April. I put that podcast episode out. We're going into the second round for the year as of October 1st. And there's a very strong cutoff date for applications on that. So if you've been eyeing that program, if you want to get in, make sure you apply. All right, let's pull some tarot. I moved away from the microphone. Okay. This takes me back. Pulling tarot on camera, it takes me back. Let's see what's going on this week. Okay, 5 of coins. Let's see. I want to get a little bit more context before I speak to that card. And then we have the 2 of wands. Okay, the 5 of coins is reading as being a little bit fussy. It's unnecessarily fussy. And then we have the King of Cups. Okay, there's different elements coming through because this actually does look like a person to me. I don't typically read court cards as people, like other people. I see it more as an aspect of self. That's usually how I read it. But this is looking like an external person. Absolutely. Okay, let's go back to this. Now, with all of these together, it's looking like the 5 of coins might be the doomsday energy or the worst case scenario, the fear, the habits of thought that really don't serve you. Those types of things make you feel bad. Anytime you entertain something like that, you will feel bad. If you entertain negative thought forms repeatedly, you will feel bad. There's no getting around it. So the 5 of coins is just pointing out it's not necessary. This isn't necessary for you. You can go here if you want, but it's optional because on the heels of it, what do we have? This is a receptive card. So how I read this is it's receiving. Now, of course, there's like planning and different traditional meanings, but this is strongly coming through as you've got it, right? See how he's holding that sphere? Like you've got it, you can receive it, you have the capacity to receive it. The condition is that you drop this. Whatever this is, drop it. And I know that's easier said than done, but my hope is that you would have tools readily available to you in order to make that happen, right? So you should not be trapped here, right? So this is something where it's like you've got a toolbox, you need to use it, whatever that looks like. Is it exercise? Is it art? Is it play? Is it phoning a friend? Like, what is it that can shake something loose? Is it cooking? There's all sorts of different things that will be really helpful here. So you just want to make sure that you're shifting into feeling more available, more receptive to the things that you want, more hopeful, shifting those negative thought forms, because this looks historical. Remember, this is like it's I'm reading this as memory. This is historical. This is past events or habits of thought. So I'm saying 80,000 things all at the same time. Let me say this concisely. This is non-circumstantial. This is exclusively thought. So fear that something bad could happen or might happen, or what if da-da-da, that's what this is reflecting. Okay? It's not legit. Because consider Sky Daddy, the quantum field, God, divine source, can provide anything in a given moment. So that's what the receiving is here. You've got to get here. You've got to get to the point where you can take it, where you can hold it, where you can receive it. So that's really what the work is for you this week. It's letting myself shift into receiving it. Shift into, okay, I'm just going to lean back. I'm going to relax into this. And the more that you can practice that, the better off you're going to feel, the better things are going to be. And like I mentioned earlier, it's funny how this kind of coincides with the prayer that I kind of led into in the beginning with you want to be able to jump outside of conditions in order to stay ahead of things, in order to stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the experience. Otherwise, you're just going to be on a roller coaster ride the entire time. So that's really what this is about, is you must drop the past. This week in particular, you want to imagine you have one of those Men in Black flashlights where you can erase someone's memory. You want to do that with yourself. Like, forget everything that's happened in the past, become future oriented, start preparing your field for the things that are coming. And once you do that, once you take yourself there, you're going to feel more at peace. You're going to feel that sensation of it's already done. It's already mine. It's already yours. Right? Now, the King of Cups is either going to be someone who is reflecting something back to you. So it might be someone who's reflecting back that you're moving in the right direction, that you're in the right frequency. Whoever this is, it's a great measuring stick to use because he is going to be reflecting back what you have going on internally. So whether this be a partner, a friend, a coworker, who else? Those are the main ones coming up. This probably isn't going to be family. I'm just going to say that here. It's not reading as familial. This is reading as someone who's far enough away from your lineage where it is a purer reflection. Family, the interesting thing about family is it's not the purest reflection because there's too many common threads in there. It makes family really interesting. Anyway, I digress. The King of Cups is for some of you, there's kind of a split off with groups here. For some of you, this is just very straightforward. Like this is a character who's really active in your life, who's an external person. Again, I don't typically read like this, but it's coming through really strong as it being an external person. And then for others of you, this is like someone who is just reflecting back to you where you are energetically. And so it's kind of like the King of Cups is going to bring you that green light this week. So if you can just take that as, oh, this is it. This is like the sign, or this is the reflection that Sydney was talking about, right? So you can just look forward to that this week. And is there anything else on that? No, I think that's complete. It's reading complete. Let me summarize. Drop your history as much as you can. Prepare your field and shift into receptivity consistently. So anytime those historical patterns, thought forms, old stories, what ifs that you really don't want to entertain, just to make sure that you're looking at what am I doing, and that you give yourself the opportunity to use your tools. It's really a week that's about going back to basics. Go back to basics. Use your tools. You know what to do. You know what puts you in the right energetic state. So use it and prioritize that. Here's the last piece of the 5 of Coins. You may be tempted to overact this week. This is an invitation for you to shift into, I'm going to focus on the energetics dominantly instead of taking frantic action from the space of I'm being inspired by this negative thought that I have. Okay? So just allow yourself to do what you know to do. You already have the answers. Maybe that's what the King of Cups comes and reminds you. Maybe in a moment it's like, hey, why don't you da-da-da? Like, why don't you do this thing that's really good for you? Or obviously positive reflection, or it could be some type of a reminder, or this is just a really prominent character in your field. So we will see what shakes out this week. But it looks interesting. It's a good mix of energy. It's very practice heavy in terms of energetic practice. So let yourself prioritize that this week. Enjoy yourself this week. Remember to shift into your creatorship as much as you possibly can. All right, friends. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, all of the links will be in the description box or the show notes, wherever you're listening to this, if you want to hop into anything with me. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.